All right, so welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And this time, we're going to be
Yeah.
looking into some predictions about the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, get this. We found a transcript of a live YouTube video
Okay.
by this Polish clairvoyant
Oh, wow.
named Krzysztof Jackowski.
Mm-hmm.
And he has some pretty wild things to say about the year 2024 and beyond.
I mean, 2024 is now, so
Yeah.
that's really
I
interesting.
know, it's like right around the corner.
Yeah.
But one thing that really caught my eye was this whole concept of automated humans.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but that
It's
sounds
intriguing.
pretty crazy, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
So let's dive into this a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So first of all, it's interesting that Jackowski starts by talking about this survey that was done back in 1974
Okay.
by the Polish Communist Party. And they asked people to predict what life would be like in 2024.
So predictions about the year we're living in now.
Yeah, exactly.
What did they think we'd be up to by now?
Yeah, what kind of like flying cars
Wait.
would they imagine?
Not quite flying cars, but
Okay.
they predicted that everyone would be driving around in these Fiat 126Ps.
Fiat 126Ps, huh?
Yeah, you know those little,
Not familiar.
like, kind of boxy cars? They thought those would be, like, the hot thing,
Okay.
and that everyone would be watching color TV.
Well, they got that right.
Yeah, they got that one right.
At least.
And then they also thought that everyone would be vacationing in Bulgaria or at Lake Balaton.
Bulgaria or Lake Balaton.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know, maybe some people are, but
Yeah.
it's not exactly like the top vacation destinations these days.
Not exactly, no.
So, I mean, I guess even predictions about the relatively near future
Yeah,
can be pretty far off.
it seems so, yeah.
But then Jackowski's vision takes us way beyond,
Right.
Fiats and vacations.
Yeah.
He's talking about a much more distant future.
Okay.
And he sees Earth's population declining.
Declining.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these two distinct types of humans emerging.
Like biological humans like us. And then these things he calls automated humans.
Automated humans. It's a little ominous sounding, isn't it?
Right. It's a little creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think he means by that? Like, is he essentially talking about robots?
He doesn't use the word robots.
Yeah.
But the way he describes them,
Mhm.
it sounds like a separate species.
Okay.
Almost like,
Like we created them.
yeah, and they exist to serve us.
Okay, so they would be taking care of all the work and responsibilities.
Yeah.
So that we biological humans can just kind of live lives of leisure.
Exactly.
Interesting concept. It's almost like we'd be outsourcing our own evolution
In a way.
to these automated beings.
It is a pretty thought-provoking idea.
Yeah. I mean, does he say anything about like what life would actually be like for the biological humans in this future?
He does.
Okay.
He predicts that we would have significantly extended lifespans.
Oh, wow.
Like potentially up to 170 years.
Oh.
Thanks to some kind of like slowed aging process.
Right.
But there's a catch.
What's the catch?
He says that births would be strictly controlled,
Ah, I see.
which kind of explains the declining population he mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He also talks about us being able to program our own psyches.
Wait, program our own minds.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
We could control our own thoughts and emotions.
He even mentions something about inducing states similar to hibernation.
Whoa, so we could basically put ourselves to sleep on demand.
It seems that way, yeah.
This is getting pretty wild.
It is, yeah.
It's like longer lives, but fewer people. Mind control, the ability to hibernate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty crazy picture.
It's definitely a lot to take in.
It is.
And it gets even wilder, believe it or not.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, this is where he brings in another civilization.
Okay, so now we're talking about aliens.
Well, he doesn't explicitly say aliens,
Okay.
but he refers to them as nomads.
Nomads. What does he mean by that? Like space nomads?
He believes they move between planets and even universes,
Whoa.
but he emphasizes that they're not like traditional nomads.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ones we typically think of who, travel for resources.
Right, right.
These are beings operating on a cosmic scale.
Okay, so then why call them nomads at all?
Well, he actually links that term
Okay.
to a real-life missing person case
Oh, interesting.
that he claims to have solved.
Okay.
And he says that during his vision of this case,
Mhm.
the word nomads just kind of popped into his head, and he says the body was found exactly where he saw it.
So he sees this as a validation of his abilities.
It seems so, okay.
Even though this prediction sounds out there,
Right?
maybe there's some truth hidden in it.
That seems to be his point, yeah.
It definitely makes you wonder where intuition ends and delusion begins.
It's fine line sometimes.
It is. It is. But let's get back to these nomads for a second.
Okay.
What role do they play
Yeah.
in the lives of these automated humans?
He believes that the nomads are the ones
Okay.
who provide us with the advanced technology to actually create the automated humans in the first place.
Oh, so it's like we create this advanced workforce, but then we end up losing control of it
To these other beings.
to this other civilization.
Yeah.
That's a crazy twist.
It is.
It's like almost a cautionary tale about artificial intelligence, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Like this fear that we'll create something that ultimately surpasses us and
Yeah.
takes control.
It definitely taps into that anxiety we have
Yeah.
about technology and the consequences of our advancements.
I mean, are we really in the driver's seat when it comes to our future?
It's a big question.
It is a big question. So we've got this declining population of biological humans, extended lifespans, automated humans, these nomads pulling the strings. It's a lot to unpack.
It is, yeah.
But before we go any further, I'm really curious to learn more about these nomads.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, what are they actually like?
Right.
What motivates them?
Well, Jackowski actually provides some pretty specific details
Okay.
about their appearance.
All right, let's hear it.
He claims that they have light hair, elongated faces, and an aversion to sunlight.
Okay.
So they often wear dark clothing.
Starting to get a picture here.
Yeah.
Anything else about how they look or act?
Yeah, he also mentions that they tend to look away during conversations.
Oh, really?
Like they have trouble making eye contact.
Hmm.
And get this,
Okay.
he even talks about someone sending him a mug
A mug.
with his face and a nomad's face on it.
Wait, what? That's so specific
I know, right?
and kind of weird.
A little strange.
Yeah.
But I guess it shows that he's really thinking about what these beings would look like.
Yeah, like he's really trying to visualize them?
Yeah, almost as if he's encountered them personally.
That's interesting.
But you know what's even more interesting?
What that?
The way he distinguishes between humans and nomads
Okay.
on a spiritual level.
But spiritual level,
Yeah.
okay.
He talks about soft souls, which are humans,
Okay.
and expansive souls, which are the nomads.
Soft souls and expansive souls.
Yeah,
That's an interesting way to put it.
it is.
So what are the differences between these two types of souls?
Well, he describes humans as being compassionate, fearful, and easily influenced.
Okay, so more emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
What about the nomads?
He portrays them as self-absorbed and dominant.
Oh, so like not really concerned with the well-being of others.
He doesn't seem like it now.
So he's setting up this contrast
Yeah.
where humans are more emotional
Right.
and these nomads are more focused on power and control.
Yeah, driven by self-gratification.
Okay, but if they're so powerful
Mm-hmm.
and manipulative,
Yeah.
how would they even go about controlling us?
Well, that's the unsettling part.
What is it?
He suggests that they might already be here.
Wait, here on Earth?
Yeah, subtly embedded within our society.
Like hiding in plain sight?
Exactly.
Or what? They're just like walking among us?
He says they could be posing as influential figures.
Oh, wow.
In politics, religion, you know.
So they could be controlling things from behind the scenes.
I thought the implication...
And then we would have no idea.
It's a pretty creepy thought.
It is. It's like a conspiracy theory come to life.
But if that's the case, is there anything we can do to stop them?
Yeah, I mean, are we just doomed?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Jackowski believes that physical force wouldn't work against them.
So we can't just fight them off.
Apparently not.
Then what are we supposed to do?
He emphasizes our spiritual strength
Our spiritual strength.
as the key to resisting their influence.
Okay, so like our inner strength and resilience.
Exactly.
And how do we cultivate that?
He talks a lot about compassion
Compassion.
and human connection.
Okay.
He believes that by fostering genuine human connection and resisting their influence,
Okay.
we can overcome their control.
So it's like our empathy and kindness
Right.
are our most powerful weapons.
Yeah, he sees compassion as a counterfrequency
Okay.
to their self-serving nature.
Interesting.
It's like he's suggesting a battle for the soul of humanity.
Where our empathy is our greatest asset.
Exactly.
But if we're being honest, doesn't that sound a bit naive?
Wow.
I mean, can good intentions really triumph over
Yeah.
a technologically advanced civilization that can manipulate our minds?
It's a good question, Anna. This is where Jackowski gets even more specific
Okay.
about their abilities.
All right, what else can they do?
He claims that these nomads communicate telepathically.
Telepathically.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So now we're talking mind reading.
That's what he's suggesting.
Okay, now this is starting to sound like a sci-fi movie.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like, not only are they potentially controlling us from positions of power,
Right.
but they're also messing with our minds directly.
That's the implication.
So it's like double the trouble.
Pretty much.
It's like those classic alien invasion movies
Yep.
where they take over people's minds and bodies.
It's a chilling thought.
It is.
But it's important to remember that
Yeah.
Jackowski doesn't present these nomads as inherently evil.
Okay.
He describes them as simply being a different type of being.
So not necessarily malicious, but definitely operating on a different moral compass.
It seems that way, yeah.
I mean, why else would they go through all this trouble to control us?
That was a good question.
It's like they must see us as a resource to be exploited
It's possible.
for their own purposes, but
Yeah.
what those purposes are,
Well,
he doesn't really say.
no, he focuses more on the how of their control.
Okay, so we've got this incredibly complex and frankly strange vision of the future.
Yeah.
Automated humans,
Mm-hmm.
telepathic aliens controlling Earth, the importance of compassion as our defense. It's a lot to process.
It is a lot to take in.
Where do we even go from here?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do with this information?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed by all this. Like, should we be looking over our shoulders for these nomads?
Mm-hmm.
Should we all start meditating or something?
Well, I don't think panic is the answer.
Right.
But I do think that Jackowski's vision, however strange it might seem, it does serve as a powerful reminder to stay critical,
Right.
you know, and to hold on to our values, especially now, you know?
Especially now. What do you mean?
Well, with technology advancing so
Right.
rapidly,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
it's easy to feel like we're being swept along by forces we can't control.
Right, right.
Like we're just along for the ride.
It's like we're constantly bombarded with information and gadgets and new ways of thinking, you know?
Yeah.
It's easy to lose sight of what's really important.
Exactly. And maybe that's part of what Jackowski's trying to get at.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, he's not just making predictions, right? He's
Mhm.
prompting us to think about what kind of future we want to create.
I see what you mean.
He's highlighting these human qualities like connection, empathy, compassion as a counterbalance to the potentially dehumanizing effects of all this technology.
Yeah, it's a thought-provoking contrast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like on the one hand, you have this advanced civilization with all this power and technology,
Right.
but maybe they lack this emotional depth that we have as humans.
Right. It's almost like he's flipping the script on the classic alien invasion story.
How so?
Well, the real threat isn't some brute force or superior technology.
Right.
It's something far more subtle, like
Better.
the erosion of our values, the manipulation of our minds.
So it's a battle for the soul of humanity, not a physical war.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we apply this to our own lives? You know, even if we don't believe in telepathic aliens controlling everything.
Well, I think it's a reminder to be mindful
Mindful of what?
of the choices we make,
Okay.
both individually and collectively.
So like being aware of the consequences of our actions.
Exactly, and questioning the narratives we're being fed,
But questioning the narrative.
you know, and being aware of the potential downsides of all these technological advancements.
And holding on to those things that make us human.
It's like love, compassion, connection.
It's a powerful message, especially now, when the world feels so divided.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe focusing on those human connections, it's not just about our own well-being, you know?
It's about something bigger.
Yeah, maybe it's about the future of humanity as a whole.
Wow. That's a lot to think about.
It is.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We explored this Polish clairvoyant's vision of the future, which included automated humans, mind-controlling nomads, and the importance of compassion as our ultimate defense.
It's definitely been a journey.
It has, and it's given us a lot to think about.
It really has.
And it leaves us with some big questions.
Yeah, what does it truly mean to be human?
Right, like how do we navigate this ever-changing world of technology and still hold on to our values?
Exactly. And what role will compassion and connection play in all of this?
Those are big questions.
They are.
And ones that we'll probably be grappling with for a long time.
But for now, I think we've done our deep dive for today.
Yeah.
We've explored the source material, we've unpacked the ideas, and hopefully, you know, we've given you some things to think about as well.
I think so.
Yeah, who knows, maybe somewhere out there, someone is sipping coffee from a mug with a clairvoyant and a nomad on it,
Maybe, you never know.
and pondering these same questions. Well, that's an image I won't soon forget. Until next time, keep those minds open, those hearts connected, and happy deep diving.